if I tell you that now this video game is gonna teach you something? Look. Chances are that you might think I'm talking about yet another awkwardly designed level of an educational game, or perhaps of one of those tutorials from Shadow of Mordor or The Witcher 3, with their big pop-ups telling you which button to press. I mean, although both those games are great, let's be honest, cutting the action suddenly like this is not very pleasant and it quickly breaks the immersion. Those are situations where you, as a player, are explicitly told that you're going to learn and to essentially become a student. While not bad per se, those tutorials are pretty demonstrative in their school-like setting, and are often risky business for the game creators because they can take the fun out of the experience and even bore the players. But at the other end of the spectrum, there are these really cool moments where the game just flows and you naturally get it, where you learn without even realizing it simply by having the content show you and expose you to the mechanics in a seamless fashion. Aren't those moments great? Aren't those the times where you feel like you're some sort of super player that just uncovered a hidden secret? This is an amazing potential that video games have, and that is, for now, sadly still too largely untapped. The ability to benefit from incidental and tangential learning. Incidental learning happens when you stumble upon some concept or skill sort of by chance, because you were set in a specific context that is suitable for discovering this. It's when, as a byproduct of some activity, you accidentally get more than what you initially bargained for and develop some new ability from experience. For example, some researchers are now studying how action combat games like Call of Duty could help increase reflexes or spatial cognition. And in a different vibe, Jenny has often been praised for developing unexpected and profound relationships between players thanks to its limited communication possibilities that forced us to invent new ways of collaborating. Tangential learning is when you self-educate on a topic after being exposed to it in a nice and comforting context. It can be you diving into Greek and Northern mythology after throwing some Kratos punches, or even those hardcore KSP players that have somehow taken it upon themselves to graduate in astrophysics and ballistics all on their own. What those two types of learning have in common is that they often work in part because of how subtle and non-formal they are. They offer discrete enough touches of knowledge for you to accept and enjoy them without feeling like you're being spoon-fed a lengthy masterclass. If you think about it, even focusing solely on video games themselves, drowning your players in walls of text during a boring tutorial is just no good. You want to teach the players through the gameplay, not about it. And it's the same for info that is not directly linked to your game mechanics. You can use the game as an educational medium that silently conveys knowledge on some topic, or simply opens some part of your audience to its bare existence. Ever heard of the Boston Tea Party? Or the goddess Nemesis? Or the delicate art of kabuki theater? Games can bring awareness to topics that would otherwise go unnoticed, or that would be consigned to schoolbooks. Okay, now you might be thinking, great, that's cool if I want to crunch for my history test, but this in no way helps me in my everyday life. Well, let's play a little game. Say I show you this set of math equations, and I ask you, what's the value of x? No, don't go running and screaming that you hate maths, cause trust me, this is actually bearable. Keep calm and just let me wrap this up a little better. First, I'll replace the x with copper ore. Then I'll switch the y for copper bar, and the z for copper bracers. Now tell me, how many of you have, like me, made this kind of intricate drawing on a piece of paper while leveling up their blacksmithing in World of Warcraft? I remember spending hours meticulously planning my collect route for runecloth to make a specific piece of armor for my mage, or comparing the prices at the auction house and bidding to try and scrap this last missing component for the recipe. Those are hours of me doing maths and economy stuff willingly and even happily. The fact is that, as numerous studies have shown, we learn best when we're interested. It might sound obvious, but it's just that simple. If you like what you're doing, you'll continue to do it for longer and therefore get more experience doing it. That's why video games could be great teachers. Their primary goal is already to keep you hooked in and engaged for hours. So what if they could make the best of this playing time and bring up a few nuggets of knowledge here and there. There are already some games that are actually famous for building bridges between the in-game story and the real world. The well-known Civilopedia from Sid Meier's might be the reason so many of us know that the Bluetooth technology that connects our smartphones today was named after a northern king from the 10th century. It's not that this info was written inside of Civ 5, it's just that playing this game exposed us to the name Harold Bluetooth and had a fraction of the public Google it further. And even a small fraction of such a huge number of fans boils down to a pretty good amount of learners. Tangential and incidental learning aren't about sneakily turning your nice Minecraft adventure into a quiz test on chemical compounds, or your RE2 chase with the Nemesis into Cartography 101. They're about expanding on the experience games already offer us to get more out of these hours of entertainment than just fun, and gradually, although a bit secretly, have the players make interesting connections in their heads. Evolving in a sandboxed virtual world prevents failures from being real stepbacks, and it provides you with a safe learning environment where you can develop a plethora of skills that you can then reuse in other places thanks to transfer of learning. So anyway, here you are. That's the sort of thing that I'll talk about in this series, What Games Teach Us. This series' focus will not be about what games teach you about themselves or their gameplay, rather it will discuss the various skills or more theoretical knowledge we can learn while playing video games but then reapply in our everyday lives. I hope you'll embark on this journey with me and that you'll enjoy the ride. In the meantime, I want to give a huge thanks to all the community cause we've just passed the 4,000 subscribers, so it's just amazing, and I'm so happy that I can share all my passion about games and coding with so many people. So yeah, a big thanks to all of you, and of course if you're not yet subscribed, feel free to click the subscribe button, like this video and share it around. And don't hesitate to leave a comment about what you think video games can teach us, or even tell us of a particularly important thing that one video game has taught you. As usual, thank you for watching, and take care.